You see women's spears for sure.
Excuse me, did you
Test one, two, test one, two, test one, two, test one, two. Good evening, I am Juanki, and welcome to my world. I hope you have survived the heat wave. I'm Latin from the Caribbean islands, so I have no excuse to complain about heat. Okay? It went to 1,000.599 freaking thousand degrees of hell. Today I spent the day air conditioner to air conditioner to air condition the whole house. I limited my time outside. It was absolutely atrocious. And we just got a whole tornado watch. Winds of 80 miles an hour, signs flying all over the place, traffic lights attempting to fall down on people. But it has cooled down about 20 degrees. The studio is still very hot, very salacious. I actually have to take some equipment out of the studio because I don't want like batteries and stuff. I don't want the batteries to go ahead, overheat and explode. Drop a bomb on the explosion. Shit is insured, but we're not trying to fill out no damn paperwork. A lot of paperwork, then start asking questions. What, when, who, where, how, why come, all of that. So I ain't trying to deal with that. So I got to remove some of the batteries from the equipment, sis, and take them and put them in a cooler environment. So I will be doing that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I want to start out by welcoming Miss View is a View back to the main stage. She went live just a few minutes ago in her Coloring View channel. She was bringing us up to date with just a little taste of the trip that she went on. I cannot wait to be able to speak with her and ask. I want to ask her questions. I want to be all up in the Kool-Aid. I saw a video of her at the entrance of the manor. We got a glimpse of her looking beautiful as ever, skinny, nice, a nice nasty piece of a wardrobe. So I'm hoping that she had an amazing time over there. She deserves it, you know, especially this year. So I hope you had a fabulous time as viewers of you. They say that once you start cruising, you never stop. Stay off them parks. I don't know if that joke landed, but you forget it. Cruising parks. Let me stop. But they say that once you start going on cruises, like you get addicted. I've already booked 2. Okay, 2. So we'll be doing that for the next couple of years. Oh, y'all know me. I plan really far out in advance. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not gonna be here long because I am fucking melting. Incredible Hulk is working on the air system for my studio. This is why I've chosen some of the nights not to be up here, because I literally just got out of the shower and I am sweating. I'm gonna have to finish the show, take my bow, let the curtain fall, and run back into my bathroom chambers and into the shower chamber and take another nasty piece of shower, a cold shower, because I feel sticky already, and it's not the business. See, when the summer comes, we ain't trying to preserve water. No, all water on my body. Okay, that's the tea. Anyway, I want to talk to you guys about the recent updates with Batman and Catwoman on the top of the Empire State Building. Oh yes, so they were finally released yesterday, and now we have learned more about the what, when, who, where, and why. I asked the AI servers, you know, the ones that are managed by a certain not melanated tyrant of the world. And this is what he said. The Batman and Catwoman Daredevil couple, Angela Nicolau and Ivan Kozlov, were released from jail under court's supervision following a brief arraignment hearing in Manhattan Criminal Court. The couple, who currently resides in East Orange, New Jersey, spent their first night as an engaged couple in separate holding cells before appearing before a judge. They did not enter a plea. What? That's crazy to me. Because in all of my criminal justice classes and law classes, you always want to go up there and have your defendant plead not guilty. Not guilty. Even if they are, and they're going to take a plea deal, not guilty. This is new to me where you don't enter a plea at all. But I digress. I'm not the one with the law degree. That's half my family. But this is going to be a nice topic of conversation next time we are sitting at a family dinner, because I need them to explain this to me. I always thought you had to enter a plea, guilty or not guilty. And 99% of the time, you want to say not guilty, even if you are, because then you'll have some opportunity to review discovery and talk to the district attorney or the AEA, assistant district attorney, might I add, because the actual DA, some of them rarely leave their office and just send the assistants, but I digress. They did not enter a plea. Even though they are caught on film, 360 degrees in a helicopter doing what they were doing, but let's continue. And the judge scheduled their next court hearing for August 24th, 2026. New details revealed by investigators. The break-in. A criminal complaint reveals that the couple did not use the standard visitors route. Instead, they snuck into the landmark the night before and hid inside the building overnight. Oh, fire that security group. And I know we are living in some treacherous, difficult times. Let me give you the list of people of the operations that need to be fired. Everybody in the control booth that watches the cameras overnight, fired. The people who sell the tickets at the end of the night, that scan you in and scan you out, fired. The cleaning people that cleaned overnight and did not go into set closet or whatever, check every space, fired. The morning crew that watches the same control room, and the people who do the safety checks and the people responsible for doing the sweeping, not with a broom, but literally just physically walking across the space to make sure that everything is, there's going to be a massive availability of new positions and positions that need to refill because people have been fired. Forced entry. Around 5 a.m. on Wednesday, security cameras captured them using tools to loosen structural brackets and breaking a security lock on the 10th floor door to access the broadcasting antenna transmission line. Again, whoever's responsible for managing them cameras, all right? And doing the sweeps to check that locks are still on the doors. Especially when you have a floor or a couple of floors where you have an observation deck and people are in and out, and that should be swept every single day. That should be swept every single day. Antenna power down. NYPD officers could not immediately ascend to the spire to retrieve the couple because the building's massive broadcasting transmitters had to be completely powered down first to prevent the officers from being severely injured by radio frequency radiation. And it is my understanding, it is my understanding, ladies and gentlemen, that the Batman and Robin duo were exposed to radiation because they climbed onto the structure when, all the Empire State Building has that antenna because there's a bunch of radio stations that transmit back and forth from there. So there's apparently, allegedly, there's radiation that they were exposed to and shit. So official statement: NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch, who comes from a long family of billionaires. She's not qualified to do the job, but she's a white woman who was bored at home and daddy gave her the position. Drop a bomb on that. The Tisch family. Google them. You'll see what I mean. NYPD Commissioner and nepotism recipient Jessica Tisch released dramatic body camera footage of the emergency response. See, she got nothing else to do but to actually release. It should have been like her office release. No, she released it. Okay? She got nothing else to do up there. Nepo. Calling the officers' high altitude climb harrowing and enough to take your breath away. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? This what Jessica Tisch Nepo had to say. The altitude climb was harrowing and enough to take your breath away. If you don't get this white bitch off my face and send her back to spend daddy's money. And Miss Viewers of You has entered the room. Hello, Miss Viewers of You. I did a whole soliloquy portion and welcome to you. It's in the earlier part of this video. When we're done, I think the first 5 minutes. I'm very happy that you're back. I cannot wait to hear your experience. I want to ask you questions and the whole nine, but I know you'll be releasing your content, so I'm not going to get ahead of everything. But from a scale to 1 to 10, Miss View, 1 being you had to hide in the library the entire cruise, went on YouTube and begged subscribers for money. To 10 being, I'm not scared. I can walk around the pool. I have a 2-piece on. I enjoy myself and I'm ready to do it again. Being 10. 1 to 10, how did you enjoy your trip? And we're going to await Miss View's numeric presentation. Yeah, I know they got me on that 35-second delay because of my mouth. From 1 to 10, Miss View. 1, you spend your whole afternoon, day in the library because you were scared. A 13. There we go. A 13. Absolutely. Hello, Mother Treasure Lane. How you doing? How you doing, Mother? Ugh. So, Ms. View, I cannot wait to hear and see videos. I saw your clip of you at the entrance of the manor. I love the wardrobe that you had on. And then, Ms. View, I didn't know you were going to be on the boat with the Dominican boy. You know him, I don't know him. Like, we're not girlfriends and go sit and have drinks together. But I know of him. He's Dominican from New York City. He's very happy to be on the ship. And I think he does a good job. He's a good representation, and I wish him well. I follow him on social media. And I've, he was like a social media person before Virgin, and then he auditioned and he got in, and he's traveling the world. Good for him. I was like, oh look. He saw me and ran to me. Juanki. Yeah, of course he did. Absolutely. All right, let me finish here with Batman and Catwoman on top of the Empire State Building. Legal charges. The Manhattan District Attorney Office has leveled 8 distinct criminal charges against the couple. Their defense attorney argued that the state is vastly overcharging the case, pointing out that the landmark's management confirmed no building tenant or observation deck tourists were ever placed in physical danger. That's what the damn attorney said. The formal charges include felony burglary. Burglary. Let's take that again. Miss View, I did a whole thing 2 nights ago where I couldn't say the word burglary. And I don't want people to think that I can't say it, but there we go. Felony burglary. Burglary. Reckless endangerment. Criminal mischief. Oh, we love a good criminal mischief. I personally think, Miss Viewers of You, Mother Trisha Lane, if you put a group together to go on a cruise in international waters and you get everybody together hyped up, you take their money, you pimp out the whole trip in social media, then you get on set boat on a carnival, might I add, and then you notice that one of your nemesis is on the boat and you get all terrified and scared and you spend the whole time in a library away from the subscribers that you drug onto this boat, I think that's the biggest criminal mischief ever. Actually, especially since you are the head of the trip, you know, when Trisha Lane took us out, Miss Viewers of You, Trisha Lane sat with me for at least, I think it was like 3 meals and 2 shows. Okay. Very well balanced. Very well balanced. Did not book us to the point where I couldn't, you know, try to get it in with my husband in the bed, in the, not the balcony because they have cameras, in the shower set at Bimini Beach, on the couch, you know, all of that. Gave me enough time to secure my next cruise. Miss View says like punk ass Jay Wilson. Absolutely. Let's continue with the criminal charges against the couple, and then I'm going to tell you what I think. Trisha says, and an old piece of game of Monopoly. Absolutely. Where I was the winner. Yes, I was. Miss Viewers of You says, scary cat. I don't like SB either, but he scared Wilson into the library. Listen, you know, I was waiting for him to make his video. You know how he came out of the closet. Now, when he was gonna make his video coming out of the damn, library. All right, criminal trespass, criminal tampering, possession of burglar tools, and disorderly conduct. Violation of local NYC laws. Upon leaving the courthouse, the couple was photographed smiling and kissing for reporters, Miss View. And let me tell you, so now we really learn. They snuck into the building and hung in a closet or some sort of thing. That means, Miss View, that by the time they were released, because they spent at least 24 hours in the prison, not prison, but in the jail, whatever, the holding tanks. By the time they got out, because they got out and then they were taking, and all of that you see in the news, Miss View, that's been all my stomping grounds. That's down by Wall Street, the train station that they took, the 6th train. I used to take that train too, so I know exactly where they was at, by the courts and shit, right? They're getting in the stairs and the camera's like, oh, give us a kiss, give us a kiss. They locked lips. And I'm thinking, that bitch has not washed her fucking mouth. She has not brushed her teeth, because when they take you to like the tombs right there in City Hall, they're not passing around toothbrushes and toothpaste and whatever. If they keep you down there for 3-4 days, it's 3 or 4 days without you taking a shower, without your feminine products, without you brushing your teeth, none of that. So it's not even 24 hours. You know, if I'm at work and I stay at work late, right? And I had lunch or whatever. By the time it's 6 o'clock is rolling, I'm already feeling uncomfortable in my mouth. I'm like, I need to have my toothbrush. Like, I need All of that. As a matter of fact, some other jobs, I used to bring my little a hoe bag, Miss View. In the hoe bag, no, I wasn't hoeing, but that's what it's called, the hoe bag. I used to have a toothbrush and my toothpaste, floss, all of that, right? Deodorant, hairspray, a comb, all of that. Floss, especially floss. But because the new place where I'm working at, I don't really, I don't find the restroom to be that hygienic, the sink and all that. I don't bring that. So this bitch went outside when they got released. They had at least 3 days. For at least 3 days, that mouth had not been washed, and she plopped her kiss with her man, my man, my man, my man, for the cameras. Absolutely disgusting, nasty. And let me tell you something. This whole thing of her getting up there and him taking, proposing on the whole nine, it's a farce. It's a lie, because they've already been married. The father went on TV and said it because they caught him off guard. And he was like, no, they've been married already. They've been married for several years. So the whole thing up there was a fake proposal. A fake proposal. But my question is, Ms. View, had this been melanated people and not the Russians with their fair skin, would they have been able to walk out of New York City jail release on their own recognizance, which means ROR, meaning they don't have to put any money down or anything. They just walk right out without any bail. And I know we had the whole bail reform here, but apparently they don't consider them to be a threat to everybody outside. But I guarantee you, if it would have been a melanated person, they would still be down there. Miss View says she heard about that fakeness. Crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. Anyway, so I just wanted to give you an update. Ladies and gentlemen, I am sweating. I feel the sweat going down my back to the window, to the sweat. Miss View, I did not know the official lyrics to that song because I always heard it on the radio back in the day. So I heard the unedited version. And then a friend of mine back in the day showed me the actual lyrics to the sweat down my. That's what he's saying. The sweat dripping down my. Anyway, I am going to go ahead and give you guys a confession that I saw. And because I want to give my little bit of input on this one. Okay. Down the whole and Miss View. But see, Miss View, sweat can go sweat can go all the way from my spine all the way down, all the way down, and it don't get stuck because, as everybody knows, Miss View, I am fully Brazilian wax. Okay. Now, let's go ahead. Since it's Saturday. Is it Saturday or Friday? It's Friday. Since it's Friday, let's go ahead and do one of our not safe for work confessions. Here we go. I've been getting my Brazilian waxes since I was 17 years old. At one point, I was going to the J Sisters, Miss View. The J Sisters were the ones responsible for bringing Brazilian wax to New York in the 90s. And so they had a nice little salon in Fifth Avenue. And because, I was on tour making my money, okay, I was able to afford. The service was like $300 because they were like a celebrity, like Cameron Diaz used to go there, Tyra Banks, the whole nine. I was the only male client that they had in the entire thing. And I know this because the girls told me. The Seven Sisters, J, and they all start with J Sisters. And I was the only male client there. They thought I was a porn actor. No, not because my body was wrecked and destroyed, but because, they figured, okay, he's getting this service because he must be doing some type of porn or something, because they knew I was a performer. That they knew, but they didn't know what kind of performer I was. So, and then they shared this with me. They shared me eventually because I had a long-term relationship. I went with them for like 7 or 8 years. And so they shared with me that when I first started coming to them, because I was 17, but I also looked like I was like 13. I looked very young for my age. So they were like, and I laid there and I was able to get my service, and I tip well on the whole nine. That lasts a long time like that. Oh yeah, they do. And I've been doing it since then, to the point where, I can literally fall asleep through it. I'm not saying it doesn't hurt, but my body's so accustomed to it. I've used to be, back in the day when I was down in corporate, I would be on my BlackBerry answering emails and letting her go to work and the whole nine. And anyway, the non-safe for work confession is entitled Male Brazilian Manzilla Wax. New esthetician is very handsy. That's what he wrote, Miss View. That's what he wrote. A sicko. I've been getting male Brazilian Manzilla waxes for almost 2 years now. First of all, side note, it's not called a Manzilla. It's just a Brazilian wax, okay? Stop trying to make fetch happen. I've been getting male Brazilian Manzillian waxes for almost 2 years. Been to a few different aesthetic estheticians due to me moving or their prices increasing, or not wanting to go to a chain anymore. This story is already giving me creep. Started going to a new esthetician 3 months ago. She's also pretty new to the industry. I am one of her first male Brazilian clients. She's fantastic, very thorough, and a cool person. However, I've never had a physiological response with my previous estheticians, but this one has a different technique. The first time I was so embarrassed, but no harm, no foul. Was odd that she pushed it out the way rather than just working around it. Second session, she seemed a little more deliberate in handling me at the beginning, and same thing. Now was my third session, and she handled me a lot. To the point of repeated reactions. This is a fucking creep, Miss View. This is a creepo. And now he's getting his sick jollies off by coming out here and telling us that this is this woman's job. She ain't there to just handle you. She needs to move the schlong off the way. And she should be telling you to hold here, pull here, tighten here, all of that. Miss View says, let me put my snack back in the bag. She handled me a lot to the point of repeated reactions. I'm sure he means erections, which I don't understand, because that is the most painful. The last motherfucking thing on my mind, Miss View, is a damn erection. Drop a bomb on the erection. Absolutely fucking not. Like way more than any other esthetician. I don't want to say she was intentionally doing anything, and neither of us said anything or did anything inappropriate, but it didn't seem either accidental either. Wait, what? No, you're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot. Let me tell you now. The sentence, Miss View, I know you're a wordsmith, don't even make sense. It's a tomato or it's a tomato. It's a potato or it's a potato. Jumbo shrimp, little giant. You can't say no it wasn't and then say but it was. What the fuck? Let's read that again. Now was my third session, and she handled me a lot to the point of repeated reactions, meaning erections. like way more than any other esthetician. I don't want to say she was intentionally doing anything, and neither of us said anything or did anything inappropriate, but, comma, it did seem entirely it didn't seem entirely accidental either. You're a dummy. You're a dummy, bitch. You're a dummy. No, you want it to be. You want it to be this fantasy that you went and you paid for this woman to play with your junk while at the same time removing hair from your pubic area and the scrotum and the taint and the rectum. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. KRC-1. Are you okay? Are we going to have a problem here? Do you want some attention? You want to partake? My name is on the motherfucking marquee. Everybody in the audience and everybody who comes here afterwards knows what I give. Sounds like you don't know what I give. If the sound of my voice, my diction, my expression, my performing, I do have a theater degree and I put it to work every single time that I can, bothers you, then you know what to do. Or should I do it for you? I got the button right here. I have the button right here. Look at that. Look at that. I don't know how to act with the button. I don't know how to act. Calm down, NGA. First of all, I'm not your NGA. Okay? I'm not. I'm not going to stop going to her. Right. Because if you really felt uncomfortable, if you really did not want to make her feel uncomfortable, you would just get yourself a different esthetician and a different establishment that was more to your liking, right? Sucky, long time, happy ending, make you come real fast, right? But no, you're still going to go. A white man, I'm sure. I'm not going to stop going to her because she really does a fantastic job. And as long as she doesn't do anything inappropriate, it's fine, right? Question mark. Miss View, I tell you, these are some sick people. These are some sick people, Miss View. He liked the outcome. There you go. Absolutely. And he is getting off on coming on to here and giving us this. Then he goes to say, let me just say, it's fine, right? Question mark. Then he goes to say, I mean, ... Even if she's doing it on purpose for her own entertainment or whatever, comma, if she doesn't say or do anything inappropriate, I can't assume that she is, all right? This is a sick individual. This is sick. He knows what he knows. He's thinking what he wants to think. And he wants to come out and get validation by telling a crooked story, all right? And tiptoeing around what it is that he wants. If you want a happy ending, go to the Asian parlor. Now, if you're Asian in the crowd, don't feel ways. That's just what I know from New York City. Okay? It's what I know from New York City. All right? If I seen ads in newspapers back in the day that had the Mexican parlor, then I would say the Mexican parlor. But that's not what I've seen in New York City. Okay? He continues to say, honestly, comma, I confess part of me hopes she's doing it on purpose. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Then he says, a fun game as long as she doesn't act on anything. You upstairs, you are caught up in some motherfucking shit. You are a disgrace. Somebody says in the comments, I think you want this to be something. It's not, my dude. Absolutely. Somebody says, yeah, I work in a salon and these kinds of guys with a kink for this are everywhere. It sounds like he is painting the story in a certain direction to get the green light about how this is a mutual sexual experience when this woman is new to the career and hasn't learned how to put boundaries down. Then the motherfucker comes back, Miss View. Because you know they're going to come back. You know the Karens and the Kens are going to come back. So you're saying there's zero chance she's doing it on purpose? I appreciate that. Makes me feel better. I'm there for only hair removal and I don't want to ruin it. Thank you. What the F? What the F? Don't play on my face. This is rage baiting. This is rage baiting, Miss View. This is rage baiting. Yeah, I should Google what rage bait. I just recently learned that. Miss View, side note, everybody. Leave it to Miss View to expose us to different environments on this YouTube platform. I did not know about reborn dolls. Reborn dolls. I did not know that. I just thought they were creepy looking dolls that people that, had issues got like a security blanket. I went to Miss Views pushed out a video this morning. Okay. And it was about the reborn dolls community. And there are these dolls, silicone dolls. They look hideous in the face. A face nobody could love. Okay. Yes, Miss View, I saw that I listened to it and then I doom scrolled and fell down the rabbit hole with it. In short, reborn. Yes, reborn. And why are they reborn? Like, I don't that part. Why are they? It's just an ugly doll. An ugly doll for some sick kink or fetish that some man have. It was this man with a doll. It wasn't even a woman. I can understand a woman. I get it. Biological clocks and, just experiences, maybe rainbow babies, things like that. I can get that. It's a female. But for a male to sit there and have a whole collection holding it as if it was a real life-size doll baby and shit. Let's see. My husband, the Incredible Hulk, regarding the shit I just read says, a lot of straight men have this thing where they believe every woman that smiles, laughs, or look at them want them. Like it's impossible for women to just be nice. No, they have to want them. Absolutely. And so let me tell you this. Somebody says, oh my God, I have to get out of here because I am freaking literally. I have to, my studio, my chair, the desk is wet. I have to get in the shower again. But let me just say this. When it comes down to the Brazilian waxing, this is like I said, it's a kink that this man has. He wants his fantasy to happen. Stop making fetch happen. It's not going to happen. This woman is just trying to make her, earn her living. Okay, you have to think about it, Ms. Rue. These people have to, and I always, because I value my Brazilian wax lady, there've always been older ladies, grandma types, actually, like with grandkids, when I've sorted them out. I never went to a male esthetician to get the service. Why? Because they're going to be handling my private areas. I get a full one, Miss View, from the belly all around to my lower back. Nothing remains. Okay. My husband loves it. Okay. Absolutely loves it. But anyway, and it's just moments like this. I feel fresh. I feel the heat wave. What heat wave? It did not affect me at all. And so, if you don't want to have reactions and things like that, you don't get the pretty exercise. You get yourself an older lady who's been doing this for decades and know how the fuck to handle you. First of all. Second of all, the pain is excruciating pain, Miss View. I don't, the last thing in my mind, even when the lady has to handle me, and a lot of times they'll tell me grab, and I already know to grab and pull. You know what I'm saying? Grab and pull and keep it out their way and stuff like that. The last thing in my mind has ever been a pleasurable experience. In my mind, I'm thinking when I was doing my emails and stuff, is to try to keep my mind off the pain. It's a constant pain for a good 40 minutes of ripping and pulling and crack, crack, crack. And then once in a while, they go in with tweezers, which is even more painful. Tweezers to make sure that they're getting everything off. So I don't understand. It's some kink fetish, and then he's coming out here, like somebody said, trying to paint a narrative to make it seem like it's something else. No, you are a creep, and you should actually stop going to that establishment. If this is what you want, just go on Craigslist and find you somebody who'll give you the service. Every 4 weeks, I have this standing appointment for my Brazilian wax at about 8 a.m., 9 a.m. Because I care about my service, my estheticians and all that. Every time that I get to the salon, I get there with the hair in my head wet, meaning they know I've thoroughly showered. And I am able, willing, ready, prepared to be able to lay there, open up the book, and not have any type of situation going down or coming out or slipping out. Y'all know what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure I'm one of their best clients in every establishment that I've gone. But let me tell you about them women on Fifth Ave. When I would go into the J Sisters on Fifth Ave, these dirty itches, Miss View. Because I will always go on my day off. It will always have to be a day off because I will have to get up, get myself together, shower, prep my area the whole night, and then just go. Right? These women miss View. And when I was in the city, I would take a car service because I didn't want to be in the train, in transit, and sweat and get there sweaty and feeling uncomfortable, right? So I will be, in the waiting area. And so I will have like an appointment like 12 o'clock, like lunchtime or whatever. These bitches will come out of work, Miss View, to go get a Brazilian wax and then go back to the fucking office. Talk about nasty. 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 The girls have told me stories about it. Women that go get the Brazilian wax even though they have fucking their period. Their period. Like, have some respect for other people. Let me tell you, there was one time I've only had to, and this is going to be too TMI and I'm going to leave it with this, but there was one time that I had to cancel my appointment. And the reason being was, Miss View, my stomach was not cooperating with me and I did not feel safe or secure. And I had to call her and I said, listen, I will pay for the session, but I am not feeling well this morning and I just don't want to leave my house. And she actually just pushed me to the next week, and we did that. But that is having some compassion. That is having some professionalism. That is treating the service like it is a professional service that you're getting. It ain't no fucking fantasy. I don't understand. They're putting powder on you. They're putting hot wax on you. They're ripping it. You staying sticky with wax still. Like... And then you can't wash right away. Once you leave the Brazil, you have to spend like at least 4 hours. It's only 4 hours before you jump in the shower because your pores are open and the whole nine, and you want the skin to, get back together. So I cannot jump back in the shower or use the toilet or anything for like a good 4 hours after I do the Brazilian wax. Then I jump in the shower and clear all the remaining wax and everything, the oils, because she uses some oil afterwards and the whole night. But, it's crazy. Miss View says she understands something might have happened. You are thoughtful, right? I'm just saying, Miss View, and it is what it is. And this is why they love me. This is why, and then I give a good tip. This is why whenever they're fully booked, they always find time for me. Because it ain't no weirdo. My lady has been known to be fully booked. And she says, come at 7 a.m. I'll open up just for you. Okay? So before the establishment even opens, the VIP treatment, sneak him in and sneak him out before all the bitches come in. All right. Anyway, enough. I have to jump in the shower now. I want to thank everybody who came through. Mother Trisha Lane, Miss View, it's a View. Welcome back. And Miss View, I want to hear about your experience. I know you're gonna put some content out there. I'm pretty sure, but if not, in a couple of weeks, if we can, if you want to come up, I'll drop the link. I want to ask you questions, but I want to let you put your content out first. So put your content out first and all that, and then I want to ask you questions and commensurate in the whole experience that it was the Virgin Voyages cruise. I want to thank everybody who comes through later on, hits that like button and catches the replay. We do this every night. Every night we do this. I love you too, Miss View. I will see you guys tomorrow. Babe, I have to jump in the shower. I'll see you once I get out of the shower. All right, see you guys tomorrow. Love you guys. Peace.